Yeah. And tomorrow we said 7. What time do we say till 6? What time do we say tomorrow?
6.
I think 6 years. I can look it up.
We said 6.
6. Okay. Yeah. In between the Sudas. Um.
1 second. It's not Yom Kippur. There's only one Suda tomorrow. Don't start me with Shilas that I don't need to ask.
No, there's 2 Sudas tomorrow. What do you mean?
2 suitors. What are you talking about? The ash and the egg.
Right.
Right. There's a Suda. Okay, the Ash and the egg.
But
is
you
not-
have your
okay.
meal, you have supper,
Okay, fine.
then you
Okay,
have your ash
fine.
and the egg.
I'm
Okay,
actually thinking
fine.
about
I
texting
didn't
her out because
consider
there's a
that-
lot of confusion with that. There's a lot of confusion with that.
Now, fellas,
That's
you
why
make
you
it into
have
one
to-
suit, it's a bit of a problem.
What do you say?
I say if you make
What
it
do you
into
wanna-
one suit, it's a bit of a problem.
Right. Okay. No. Okay. Text out what
Right,
you're gonna
that's-
text out, so I can read it.
I don't know if
first.
I was going to.
What
See,
are you
on,
gonna text out?
on your app, you have a separate one for Hilchos Tisha B'Av?
Yes.
I never saw it. I can't find it here.
It's not on the app? Maybe the
You
kid
have
didn't put it
Shabbos
on.
Tisha B'Av, but you don't have Hilchos Tisha B'Av.
What?
I don't know if you have a PDF for Tisha B'Av itself. It doesn't seem like
I do. On the app, it does not on there?
I don't see it.
Akiva, I think your filter is probably not letting it through.
Oh, he's not on the. You're on the app. You're on the app, or you're on the website?
I'm on the app. It
What-
only
what's
is Shabbos
on, what's
Tisha
on
B'Av.
there that this filter is catching?
He's making a
Is
joke.
is
it
the
under
one which-
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
under the
it's
same
not-
Tisha B'Av, probably. It's probably in there. Probably he
why
found
would
the
it be
one
on
on Shabbos.
Tisha B'Av?
All right.
It's on the website for sure.
I guess
Pretty
it's part of
exciting if
Shabbos
you're
Tisha
logging
B'Av,
on
yeah.
to the dock tonight. Pretty exciting.
Right. Shmuel David, let him start. Tell him to start the daf.
Okay, let's go. All right, because today's stuff is a couple of interesting things. Starting off with Amalek, right? 5 lines
Starting
up
off
from the
time
bottom.
like day before Tisha B'Av.
I don't know. I'm not gonna say I didn't have the time, but I didn't research what is the pshat. Don't we always try and not mention Rishoim's names, right? And here we take what do they call this thing? A mnemonic? Not a mnemonic. What is it called?
Yes, the mnemonic.
The mnemonic. It's called a mnemonic?
Yeah, it's a mnemonic. Yeah.
And here we make a mnemonic to remember a Gemara with the word Amalek. All right? 6 lines up from the bottom, if the Olam is wondering. 5 lines up from the bottom. It says Amalek Simin, because it has to do with Orev, Malve, Lekeach, and Kablan. That's what it
Every
stands for. So
time I think
Amalek.
of, like I'm going to think of this now.
Right. Well, hopefully. Hopefully. All right. You get a prize. Okay.
Definitely
when it
not.
comes, put in time. If you remember, Amalek, Bava, Basra, Daf, Bava, you get a prize. All right. So Tana Rabbanim. So again, what the sugi that we're discussing is Negias in Eidos. So you could have different people that have Negias when they do Eidos, right? So we talked about somebody who's a Baal Chayiv. Can you say Eidos to somebody else? So Tana Rabbanim, Orev Meyed L'Loiva, and Orev is a guarantor. Meaning, what's going to happen is if the borrower does not pay back money, then they're going to come after the Orev. So there's a lot of skin in the game for the Orev, for the guarantor, to make sure that this field doesn't get taken away from the borrower. Because if the field gets taken away from the borrower, then the Orev is on the hook. Right? So Orev made the loiva, who to isle ara achriti. But that's talking about where and the reason why he's allowed to say the Eidos is because the borrower has other fields, meaning, so he'll go towards the other field, meaning they'll go to the other fields. But if he only had one field, then the taka, the Orev, is Negeya. Is Negeya Be'edus, and he would be possible, because of course he's going to say Eidos that this guy's field belongs to him. Malve Meyed L'Loiva, the Malve is allowed to say Eidos for the Loiva, but again, as long as he has another land, so that it's not total Negias. Otherwise, of course, the Malva is partial. He wants this guy to have a field. Lekeach Risha and Meid Lekeach Sheni. So then you could have the first lien holder, second lien holder. So the first lien holder is allowed to say Eidos to support the second lien holder, Because if not, then he might also end up losing his field. Again, but again, as long as there's another field there. It's very interesting the way the Gemara is choosing to say this. Why not just say that pasal le'edus unless you have another field? Again, I'm not even gonna venture to try and say I have any understanding of why Gemaras describe things the way they do. But here it makes it sound like the default is that they're trusted, but they're only trusted if the guy has another field. So then they're not trusted, right? It's almost like, in America now we love to fluff everything. Bottom line is an Arev trusted or not? We're going to say no, correct? He's not trusted. If the guy has two fields, then he doesn't have so much skin in the game, so therefore he's trusted. So that's him, he's not trusted. Right? So the Gemara makes it sound like the other way around. No, he's trusted. He's not. Okay, I don't know. I didn't understand that. But anyways, on to Amud Aleph. Kablan, so now Orev Kablan is much stronger. Orev Kablan is an Orev who's also he's first in line. Right? Meaning he's just normally an Orev, a guarantor means the lender can go to the borrower. The borrower doesn't pay up, he could go to the Orev. Orev Kablan is he can go to this guy the same way he goes to the borrower. Meaning there's no difference between them. Obviously the borrower will have to pay back the Orev Kablan at some point, but there's no difference. Amri la meid. So some say they could say edus, but Amri lo eina meid. Meaning there's a lot more for him to be partial in the Gei Be'edus for. So some say yes, some say no. Amri la meid ka'arev dami. Some say that he could be made because he's like an Orev. Right? There's no different. Bottom line is he's an Orev, and an Orev is believed as long as there's another field. Because he can't say this because he wants the borrower to have two fields. Because the Baal Chayiv will come to take whichever field he wants. Meaning, here in the case of Orev Kablan, the lender's either gonna come to him or he's gonna go to the borrower. The more fields the borrower has, the better the chance that the malva is going to go to the borrower, not to the Orev Kablan. So therefore, the Orev Kablan has a lot of skin in the game. He wants this Levi to have as many fields as possible. Fine.
See, why did the Gemara just say that if they have a baininess, he's not going to come to you, or is it?
What do you mean he has a baininess?
Meaning, I think the problem over here is that he might still come to you because it's only Zibarius that's left over for the guy to collect from. And then he can come to either one. By Kablan, you could go to either one, correct?
Right, I hear. You're saying, so what do you want to say with that?
Meaning, why don't you want to just say very straightforward? If there still remains baininess, then he'll go to them, and if they don't, he might come to you, and then you have to worry about it. The Gemara doesn't say it that way. The Gemara just says,
right? No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It just says he wants to have more fields by him. Meaning, shouldn't it be Tully what is still remaining by him?
I hear. You want to say in the middle man? I hear. I don't know. That's it. Yeah. I mean, is there a way around? Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, so let's see. Uman ain't like chazaka. Like we said in the Mishnah, an Uman is a guy that takes, fixer man. How do you call it? Fixer man. I'm saying
He's a craftsman. A Newman's
a craftsman, meaning you give him your items to fix for you, right? So there's no chazaka because, again, how does chazaka work? And Rabban, you're not going to like this Gemara either based on previous history, right? But why does he not have a chazaka? Because the owner of the item says, "What do you mean? I didn't need to make a macha that this guy's using my item or he has my item. I gave it to him to fix for me, right?" Ben Uman yesha chazaka, but the son does have a chazaka. Because why is my item in the son's hands? It's supposed the father's supposed to be fixing it. I guess these are the days before they had and sons businesses, no, right?
I see, my sons have a better chazaka than I do. I'm retiring.
There you go, right? Okay,
And
right,
and
well,
this is in the Uman's possession for 3 years?
well, we have to see. Well, we haven't really discussed it yet. But for metaltalin, it doesn't have to be 3 years.
How long
Who
does it have?
says? Who says the woman didn't hand it over to his son?
What?
Who says the
Um,
woman didn't hand it to his son?
Because the Rashbam says even if he did, it's talking about where the uman is the ben is not well, let's wait. So let's wait for the Gemara. Let's see how the Gemara says it.
But
So-
how long is the chazaka now? If I give
Right
if I
away,
give
really
the
right
shirt to the
away. We
cleaners-
said the other day it's right away.
So I'm saying if I give my shirt to the cleaners and I don't say anything after 1 day, I don't pick it up the first day that it's ready.
Yeah, if
Cleaners
the
is
guy
never a chazaka. What do you mean? Cleaners, you never have a chazaka.
Isn't that what we're talking about? I'm saying, but how long would if it
it's
could
right
work?
away. It's right when the guy comes. It's right when the guy comes. Right? Meaning whenever it is that he decides, hey, what are you doing with my thing? Right? So he says, what do you mean? I'm fixing it for you. Or the guy fixing it says it's mine. Right? And he says, you see, you didn't make a machal. I think it's right away. That's what we came out with a couple of days ago.
See where they get the expression to take somebody to the cleaners.
I wonder, Taka. No, I don't think that's real, but it sure fits. Yeah, so anyway, so again, Ben Uman Yesha Chazaka, Oris, Ein Loy Chazaka. An Oris does not have a Chazaka. Ben Oris, Yesha Chazaka. Right? Okay, let's just wait to weiter. But a Gazlan, U Ben Gazlan Ein Chazaka. So a crook and the son of a crook, meaning it's mamish Ben Achar Ben in the family business. They don't have a Chazaka at all. Right? Ben Benoy Shel Gazlan Yesha Chazaka. But Einikel, he does. Right? I guess that's like what does the Gemara say? If you have 3 generations, Talmid Chacham, then it's never gonna stop. So maybe it's the same thing with crook. So here it's the Einikel stopped it. He stopped it. No, it's just a joke. But anyway, so again, the son of a Aris can make a chazaka. The son of a Uman can make a chazaka. Son of a Gazan cannot, but a grandson of a Gazan can. Okay, so what's going on here? What's the case? I don't know. Ida asu b'tainasa davuin. If the kids are coming with their father's taina, meaning when they yarshin their father, they took this jacket, and they said it was in our father's rishus, so therefore it's his. Afilu hanach namila, so then they don't have a yerusha either because they don't have a chazaka either because maybe the reason why this jacket was there was because the father was fixing it, right? But if they're not coming based on their father, meaning they say that we bought this jacket from this fellow, right? Afilu ben Gazlan nami. So even the son of a Gazlan, right, should have a chazaka. I meaning meaning again, what are you doing with this item in your property? Must be it's yours. Right. So again, if they're coming from their own taina, so then they should have a chazaka because who cares what their father was, right? In both cases, meaning. So what's the difference between the Oris and the Uman and Gazlan? So what it says like Tzricha to Ka'amri Edim Fenenu Hoydela. We're talking about where Edim said, in front of us, the father, not the father, the owner of the jacket was Maida that he sold it to him, meaning he sold it to his father. Hanach ikalamemra kushta ka'amri by Oris and Uman, it could be said the truth, right? So the meaning that father could have taka bought. Hi, but the crook, Avagav the Oidi Nami Lemhem, and even if the guy is Maida, meaning the owner of the jacket is Maida, that he sold it, but still the son is not believed. Why? Because the Rav Kahana, the Amar Rav Kahana, he loved the Oidile. If he would not have been Maida, meaning if the owner would not have been Maida to the crook, have a mamtile ula chamre la shachvar, then the Ganav would have given him over his chamor and to the shachvar, to the guy who's having the tinus, right? Basically, what we're saying is that you can never believe any sort of haidah when a ganav is involved. Why? Because the person might have felt the pressure from the ganav. Since he felt the pressure from the ganav, then anything that's going on is just not admissible in a court of law. Right? So by the Uman and the Aris, we'll believe this Eidim. So Mamela, they're able to make a chazaka. But the son of a crook, he doesn't. But okay, what about the Einakul? But the Einakul does have a chazaka. Right? Because it's too part of it is that it's too far removed. Yeah. So basically it sounds like without Eidim, there is no, we don't say this. We wouldn't say this thing. Fine. Omar Rava. Sometimes the grandson of the crook also won't have a chazaka. Take you down what's the case? Talking about where he came with the taina of his father of his father's father. Meaning, if the grandson comes on the heels of his grandfather, right? Then, I mean, he says he has a Yerusha, then he's not going to believe either. Okay, so that's it. So meaning the Einakol, if he comes based on his grandfather, is not going to be believed. Fine. What's the case of a Gazlan? When does a Gazlan not have a chazaka? So Rabbi Yochanan is going to huchsuk al sadazu bizaglanusa. Now it's talking about where he's big Gazlanusa, right? There's a chazaka that this field was stolen. Meaning, once a field has a chazaka that it was stolen, then the crook, even if it was paid back and everybody's happy and they made peace, still the Gazlan can never have a proof. Meaning he can never have a chazaka. It's like a rule. Once there was a sichsuch, as we call it, once there was an issue with this thing, then he is then it's out from having a chazak. That's one way. But Rav Chisda is going to base plenty shahargin nefashis al iske moment. We're talking about where it's a specific family that they kill people based on money, meaning they are killers. They will kill you in order to take land. Since they'll kill you in order to take land, so then there can be no chazakas because nobody is going to. If this guy moves into your land, you're not going to say boo to him because you want to stay alive. So therefore, you cannot have a chazaka for this particular type of family that's known that they kill people. Fine. So Torah Rabbanan, Uman ain't like chazaka. And Uman cannot have a chazaka. Yoran me'um nasa yesh chazaka. But once he goes down from his owners, meaning he retires, then he does have a chazaka. Taisa says, what does it mean? It means he took it later, meaning he had the dry cleaners. So when he has the dry cleaners, he cannot make a chazaka on anything. But then he retired, and then he ended up with this jacket again. So then he has a chazaka. He can make a chazaka.
Do you need to prove that?
Does he need
normally when you have something in your hands, we automatically assume it's yours. Do you need to prove in this scenario that you got it after your Yomi Nase? Or can that just be the assumption?
You mean, do you have to prove it?
Yes.
We're going to see on Amid Bays. Well, let's wait till Amid Bays to see, because the Gemara, it seems like, yeah. So anyway, so Oris ain't like chazaka. Oris has no chazaka. Yorah meirusa. So yesha chazaka, but he goes down from his arisus. Then he has a chazaka. Ben. So then the Gemara says Ben shecholak. If you have a son who's separated, meaning he became independent. Isha sheneskarsha, a woman who got divorced. Because again, we said in the Mishnah, a son and a wife don't have chazakas either. But a son, once he goes shecholak, he goes off and he has his own finances, then he could make a chazaka on his father's things, because what's he doing with his father's things, right? And Isha sheneskarsha, a woman that gets divorced, she can make a chazaka, because what is she doing with her ex-husband's things? Her kashar kolodam. The Gemara asks Bishlam ben shechalak itzrich. Now we could say it's good that a son that went on his own, you need it. Maybe you think that the father's Michael, his son, meaning the son's making chazaka on the father's things, even though the son is now independent. Who cares? Right? The father's still Michael. That he's not Michael. Ella Isha sheneskarsha pshita. And Isha sheneskarsha is pashut that if she has an item that belonged to her ex-husband, so it should be his. It should be hers. Yeah. Like tzricha, no, you need it. It's talking about where she's divorced and she's not divorced. What does that mean? Then the husband is chayiv to feed her. So if the husband's chayiv to feed her, so Mamela, you would think that she can't make a chazaka, because since there's a suffix whether they're divorced, so Mamela, the husband would let her use some items of his too, and therefore she can't make a chazaka. So Kamash Malon, that she can make a chazaka. Fine. Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Lihuna. See, I think this. I think Akiva, this is what you're asking. Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Lihuna. Kulan Shaviu Raya. If they all bring a raya that it's theirs, then Yasan Raya, then it is a raya. Right? Meaning, so it sounds like Akiva, till now we're talking about where they didn't bring a raya, they just had a chazak. Right? But if they bring a raya, then they get it. Mamidin Sada Biyadon, and if they bring a raya, then we give them the Sada into their hands. Gazlan Shevi Raya, but a crook, he brings a raya. Right? Meaning he's Batzim Aganav, but he brings Adim that he bought the field. Ain Raya, his raya is not a raya. Vein Mamidin Sada Biyadon. And we don't put it into his hands, right? Meaning not, but it's a very interesting din, right? Because what do you mean? You have Adim. He has Adim. The Gazlan has Adim. Good, he's a Gazlan, but he has Adim that it was given to him, right? So that's not pshat that we're knocking out the Adis. The pshat is because we're afraid that the seller is being forced into it, and he's not. Lahavdil. I mean, it's Erev Tisha B'Av, so we could discuss all these videos that come out from the hostages, right? And they're saying, they say shvach. We all know what they're being forced into it, right? They're being forced into it. So the same thing here, right? This guy, even though he's saying he's made in front of Adam that I sold it to him. Yeah, but this guy's a crook. He's scared for his life. You can't bring any raya, even though the Adam are right, but he was forced in front of the Adam.
Well, the Rashbam says that if you have Adam that they gave money, then it would be considered a kinyan. And in a Hanabi, you would be kind of.
The what?
The Rashbam says the Adam aren't they didn't see money being exchanged.
Well, that's the next Gemara. Oh, let's see the next Gemara. Well, not the next. The one after the next.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, it's coming up, Akiva. It's very good. Anyway, so what's a pshat? So because again, we don't trust this guy because he's scared of the Gazlan. My Kamashmalan, what are you saying? Tanina, we learned that Lokach me sikrikun. If somebody bought a field from a sikrikun are goyim who like pirates, basically. They're pirates. The chazav Lokach mivalabais. He bought the field from a sikrikun. What?
They're goyim?
The Rashbam says goyim. The second wide line of the Rashbam says Megazon Nochri. Hayrig Nefashas of Iske Mammon. You're saying it could be Yidden, like what's the difference?
I'm just asking, that's all.
Yeah.
I thought it was a word that I knew from reading about the Zman of Migdash. So that's why. That's what I told the Inspire this morning. So
What that I mean, because back then it was what was going on over there by the Churban.
yes, they were called Sikari. The Yiddish murderers were called Sikari. That's why. But
Were they? That's what they were called.
Yeah, SCARI.
So I think
they used to kill people during the Regolim, because Yerushalayim was very crowded. They were able to stab people, and nobody would see them for a while. They could get away.
And so could it be that Sikrikin is under with Yidden Nogayim? It's just a matter of people that aren't robbers, like pirates.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying they Yidden, so I'm not arguing with the Rosh
I think it's a Greek word, and it's a particular kind of gladiator that fought a particular way. So these people who took fields used those weapons. So the Yidden that did that by the Churban, before the Churban, got the same name from the same weapon.
I hear. But yeah, okay. So l'chara, well, I didn't know about the Greek part of it, but I guess Gershon learns Greek too. So,
anyways, that's from my father, the Colonel Levrath. He was a linguist.
Okay. Anyway, so the Gemara says, "My kamashma tanina lokam misikrikin." If somebody buys a field from a sikrikin, right? So you know that the field that he's selling you, the sikrikin, is not the owner. Because of a lokam balabayas. Then you go, meaning you bought it in sikrikin, you felt bad, you went and you bought it from the balabayas. Mekchay bottle, his mekach is still bottle, meaning, again, he bought it in sikrikin. Then he felt bad and he went and he bought it from the balabayas. He still can't keep it. Why? Because the balabayas is saying that he wants to sell the field because he's so scared for his life. He doesn't want the Sikrikin coming back at him and killing him and say, "What are you selling this field for?" Right? So, but therefore we say that the mekach is bottle. So if he's saying that, so then in this case too, so what's the chiddush? When it says Lafuka made the Rav, it's coming to school Rav. The Omer Rav loishan well the Omer lech hazek kani. Rav says that this din is only if the owner said go and make a chazak and be kind of b'shtar kana. But if he actually, he just told him go be kind of the field, I'm fine with it. Then we don't trust him. But if he actually makes him, he says he buys it with a star, then that's something solid. And then if he still did that, you would be able to keep the field. Kamash Malon, that we don't go with Rav, we go like Shmuel, because Shmuel, the Amar after star nami like kana. Even by a star, he's not kind of yichtav achrayas nechosim. He has to write achrayas nechosim, right? Which means that he's standing behind his word, right? So therefore, that's the only time the mechir is good. So Rav Huna, who says that a raya for a ganav, we're not makabel a raya from a ganav, right? That means even if he brings a star that the owner of the field, the original owner of the field, sold it to him, still doesn't count. Fine. For Rabibi, Hasayim B'Mashmeder Rav Nachman, Rabibi says in the name of Rav Nachman, Karka ein loy. He doesn't have Karka, but Mois yesh loy. Oh, so we're saying, what do we say that the Ganav, who even if he claims he bought the field, even if he says he bought the field, we said that he doesn't get it, but he doesn't get the Karka, but he can get Avamois yesh, but he could get paid back. I mean, you got to give him back his money. Which is again another situation where, like, what do we care about the Ganav's finances? But we do, right? You're not meaning there's no knas on him that he loses his karka and he loses the money. He gets back the money. That's only this. I think what Akiva was referring to. That's when the Adam said we saw him count the money. Monala, he counted him the money. But if the Adam say that he just was maida in front of us, he didn't actually count the loy, then it doesn't work. He does not get his money back. The Rav Kahana, like we said on Amar Aleph, get the Rav Kahana. The Omar, Ilav the Oidile, Rav Kahana said if it wouldn't be, because meaning if he's not going to be maida, have a mamti leila didei ulachamrid l'shachvar. He's going to give over to him and his donkey, meaning he's going to give him over to the shachvar. I mean, he's going to rat on him. Basically, it's intimidation, right? Like we said on Amar Aleph, you cannot trust unless you actually see the money exchanging hands. You cannot trust to say, "Oh, that the owner said, yeah, he said it, I could buy it." No, you cannot. You cannot trust him worth a dime because he's totally intimidated. Yeah. Okay. So we'll stop over. The Gemara continues with intimidation Gemaras tomorrow. Okay. Do we make it from Minchas?
Yeah, and tomorrow, 6 o'clock.